How's it going this afternoon? Jerry here. I got a video that I'm going to make this afternoon, folks. That's going to be probably one of the most important videos that I've ever made in my entire life. And I've tried to get this video to post 4 or 5 different times in the past, and it never would do it. So what I'm going to have to do this afternoon is this. I'm going to have to limit what copyright items that I put on this video to get it to go through. And so I would like to show you more than what I'm going to show you, but it's not going to happen in many instances, folks, because I can't get it to post. Now, you guys know as well as I do, and I make it no secret whatsoever to you, that I really believe that our beloved Father is the founder and father of the Merovingian king bloodline of King Arthur. And I have made that no secret, guys. I never would have thought that years ago. But the Master has shown me so many things in the last year and a half that I have listened to him. And I have no doubt whatsoever that that's what he is. Now, you know, you guys know also that I do not believe that these rich pastors and these preachers that are filthy rich with these jet airplanes and stuff, I believe they're phony. I believe they're false apostles of Christ, folks. I really do. I mean, I make it no secret whatsoever. They are on stations that are controlled by Luciferians. And so why would anything honest come out of their channels? You know, you see filth on that box all week long, and then all of a sudden we're supposed to believe what it has to say on a Sunday morning? It just doesn't work that way, folks. Good trees don't produce bad fruit, and bad trees don't produce good fruit, saith the Lord Jesus Christ. And so, you know, you'd say, well, are they none of these preachers on TV any good, Jerry? No, none of them are, folks. You look at Chaplain Bob Walker. He's off YouTube right now for 2 weeks because he told people they should get a second opinion when they go to a doctor. Now, isn't that something? But anyway, moving on with this video, we're going to take a look at what has happened to the apostles of Christ in the past, the lineage of Christ, and what kind of life they have led. And so let's go down the line here. James the Greater, stabbed with a sword in 44 AD. Thaddeus, filled with arrows. Philip, crucified by soldiers. Thomas, thrusted with a spear. Matthew, crucified in Judea. James the Lesser, the first bishop of Jerusalem, stoned to death in 65 AD. Peter, folks, crucified upside down in 67 AD because he said he wasn't worthy to die the way his father died. John died a natural death. And really, you know, John, he had to do that because he had to carry on the message, folks, to the churches of Revelations. And so somebody had to be behind to do that. And that's why that he lived a natural death and didn't die like the others, because someone had to be here to write Revelations. Paul, beheaded in Rome. It's just something else to me, folks, how the martyrs of Jesus have been done. And we think somehow that big jet airplanes have a say in this thing. Let us not forget Stephen, too, folks. Stoned to death. right at the gates of the temple. Didn't even mention him in this. I noticed that. Commit my body unto you, Lord, as he was being stoned to death. But folks, there's more people who were descendants and blood lineages of Christ in the Merovingian king bloodline than what has been even mentioned here. And many people have not connected the dots. Many people have not connected the dots from King Arthur up to a later time from Christ to see who in history has also been persecuted. And there has been one important figure, folks, that the movies that they made about him clearly showed that he was an aristocrat. He was of a royal blood lineage. Even though they said that he raised a banner as a commoner, wasn't the truth, folks, because the signs of what was in history with it completely was contradictory. And so I want to show you a bloodline of Christ from the house of King David here that many don't take into account. So go on this journey with me.
Presenting yourselves on this battlefield. I give you thanks. This is our army. To join it, you give homage. I give homage to Scotland. And if this is your army, why does it go? We didn't come here to fight for them. Oh, the English are too many. men. And free men you are. What will you do without freedom? Will you fight? Against that? No! We will run. We will live. Alright? Fight and you may die. Run and you'll live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
Now, folks, I think that you're probably being surprised by what I'm telling you about this. But, folks, do you not know that when the 12 tribes of Israel were dispersed, many of them landed on the British Isles, and many of them landed on the Scottish and Irish islands. These are the lost tribes of Judah, folks. These are the lost tribes of Israel. We are the lost tribes of Israel. I have tried to talk about this before with the people in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and no one understands these things, guys. Thank the Master. Thank His gracious blessings that He has bestowed me with the knowledge to see these things. Now, if you remember when young Wallace, when his father died, his uncle Argyle came to take him with him.
The Lord cause His light to shine on thee. The Lord lift up His countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Your heart is free. Have the courage to follow Him.
Now, some of this I'm going to narrate it, guys, because you cannot show too much of this, or they will give me a copyright strike. So, young Wallace, his uncle Argyle, it is apparent when he shows up, folks, that he is an aristocrat. He shows up on a horse, a very decked out horse, may I add, with a beautiful sword. And one big hint that he is of royalty is the fact that he asked young Wallace, did was a proper benediction gave? And young Wallace said, I don't know. I can't speak Latin. And he said, you can't speak Latin? Well, we shall have to remedy that, shan't we? So you see, this is the first hint, folks, that the Wallace family was not commoners. Because you couldn't be taught how to fight with swords artistically, and you could not be taught languages of different variances and how to read and write and stuff like Wallace was by his uncle Argyle and be a commoner, folks. It didn't happen back in those days, okay? It just didn't happen. And so let's move on, and I'll show you some other things here that will show you most definitely that Wallace was not a commoner, by no means.
I knight thee, Sir William Wallace. Sir William, in the name of God, we declare and appoint thee guardian and high protector of Scotland, and thy captains as aide-de-camp.
Folks, I want to tell you something. He received this knighthood under the banner of the aristocrats of Scotland. But more importantly, it was under the house of Robert the Bruce that he received this knighthood. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. Back in those days, commoners didn't receive knighthoods. They just didn't do it. I don't care how brave they were, and you might say, well, Jerry, that, well, what if they were, it just didn't happen, folks. You didn't receive a knighthood unless you were royalty. William Wallace and the Wallace bloodline is a bloodline of the Merovingian kings of King Arthur. There is no doubt whatsoever in my mind about it. And tracing the lineages back, I can see it most evident. Once you start being able to read the signs of the coat of arms and the genealogy involved in the coat of arms, he was not a commoner. Folks, this battle, as you can see, it was constructed by Wallace. What he done was he told the aristocrats to ride round back and flank them and do it and let the English see you do it. Then on top of that, he come in with all those spears that are twice as long as a man. You remember that one too. Folks, you don't get this kind of battle strategy, this kind of teachings like he got from his uncle Argyle on how to fight, being a commoner. You just don't do it. I mean, it just does not happen, okay? The commoners were not even allowed at that point in time to even train with weapons of any kind. And so, you don't get this kind of military strategy as a commoner from your Uncle Argyle, okay? It's just impossible.
Princess of Wales. I come as the king's servant and with his authority.
To do what?
To discuss the king's proposals. Will you speak with a woman? I understand you have recently been given the rank of knight.
I've been given nothing. God makes men what they are.
Did God make you the sacker of peaceful cities? The executioner of the king's nephew, my husband's own cousin.
York was the staging point for every invasion of my country. And that royal cousin hanged innocent Scots, even women and children, from the city walls. Well, Longshanks did far worse the last time he took a Scottish city.
Sanguinarius homo indomitus est, et subpedicens mentatium.
Ecum non contra nunciare mentatium. Sed ego sum homo indomitus. Oh, en français, si vous préférez. You ask your king to his face.
This is the look of bewilderment, folks. And I want to tell you why. Because they took for granted that William was a uneducated, stupid whitey that wasn't able to speak, read, or write. And he showed them wrong, didn't he? See, folks, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You didn't get this kind of knowledge of being a commoner back in those days. You just didn't do it. You know, they came back and they told Robert the Bruce, they told his father, which was dying of leprosy, you know, that there's been a rebellion under a commoner by the name of William Wallace. That was absolutely the biggest lie, and everybody believed it too. When in reality, what they were doing is they were showing you in plain sight in this video that he was not a commoner. William Wallace was a well-educated man, fluent in fighting, fluent in languages, in arts, many things. And what you're seeing right here is the look of bewilderment. Because they didn't expect this, okay? How's it going this afternoon? Alright guys, we had to re-stretch it out there. You know that my devices go, so let's proceed. Now you're going to say, Jerry, you mean to tell me that you think that a descendant of Jesus Christ of the Merovingian king bloodline, who is a descendant ultimately, who is ultimately the father of King Arthur, who later becomes into the Wallace bloodline, you mean to tell me you think someone who originated from Jesus Christ would end up fighting like this? Let me tell you people something, folks. This is the house of King David we're talking about. This is not some pushover. Folks, you're going to find out, and it's going to happen. You're going to find out, okay, that Jesus Christ, the reason why he's portrayed as having a lamb in his hands and being easy and stuff, he's being easy with you guys. There's absolutely, positively nothing, folks, tiptoe through the tulips about the house of King David. Absolutely nothing. And it pans itself out right here.
Of treason. 40 your knees now. Declare yourself the king's loyal subject and beg his mercy. And you shall have it.
seen my blue belt of King Arthur. And this is another royal coat of arms of the Flaming Torches of Camelot, of King Arthur, folks, of my family. And as you can see in the middle of it, for those of you who may not know how to read these coat of arms, it is the line of the tribe of Judah. Same thing that I have in my other coat of arms. It's always the line of the tribe of Judah in the middle of them. Here we go, folks. The Red Thread Genealogy, Betty Rhodes's Studies of the Lost Tribes of Israel, and the Atwood Family DNA Project. Let's go to it. Wait a minute. I would like to think maybe it's still there, folks. It may not be. There's so many things that's disappeared from the internet. Lost Tribes of Israel Identity. Betty Rhodes. 1 second here. Folks, I had to end up going back to some of my records. This stuff is disappearing from the internet. And it just is. Red letter thread of genealogy of the tribes of Israel. And as you can see right here, number 21. There it is. And folks, this gives me great emotion to show you this, that this is the grave of Wallace. And as you can see down at the bottom of it is the red shield of the line of the tribe of Judah, the house of King David. The house of King David. Many people have not made this connection, guys. But I have been so gifted by my Lord and Master in these late days to be able to see these things. He has given me the eyes, folks, to see these things. And I feel so blessed. Blessed beyond measure. You know, the more things change, folks, the more they stay the same, don't they? It's always the same people, the same tyrants doing the same things, except in the world that we live in today. It's a world where these Viking kings mean to rule. And not only do they control the hearts and the will of the people through this new world order here in the United States of America, the government of illusion, but they also control their minds. And that's really sad to see that, folks, that people's minds have even been broken to this. But the more things change, the more they stay the same. I guess it'll be my guts on a plate the next time, because I will never bow to these Viking kings. And I don't appreciate the fact that you have broken the hearts and the minds of the people around me and conditioned them to what you have conditioned them to the lies of what this government is in today's world we live in. The more things change, the more they stay the same, folks. And I will never bow to these tyrants. My guts can be strung all the way across a field, and I guess they will be eventually. I will never bow to them. Thank you for watching my most emotional video today of a connection that many have not made.